Hey guys, welcome back to Russ's Rad Reviews. Today I've got a special video for you guys. I'm going to be going over how to purchase records off of eBay so you guys don't get scammed or get bad records. For the most part on eBay, for the records that I've purchased, that is, the people that are selling them tend to be really nice, and if there's an issue with them, they tend to give you your money back. But as a buyer, you guys got to be you guys got to take the time to understand what you're buying. You guys got to be um, very proactive about, condition photos, seller information. And it's also your responsibility to communicate with the seller if something is to go wrong. So for today's example, I'm going to be using Kiss records because that's what I usually buy online. I'm a super big Kiss fan. If you haven't seen that on the channel, you should probably go check out our Kiss videos if you're here just because you saw the Kiss thumbnail. But anyways, let's get into it. All right, so what we're going to do is right up here, I'm just going to do your regular Kiss rock and roll over record. You use the search bar. And basically what you've got here is a whole bunch of search results for rock and roll over. Now the first one that came up is the 2018 limited edition translucent orange 180 gram vinyl. Now, first off, you got to figure out what is it that I want. Do I want just a regular album to listen to? Or do I want a sealed one? Do I want a first pressing, sealed, signed? That's all up to you. That's a buyer responsibility. That's all up to you. For me, I tend to look for lots of records because they tend to be cheaper. And for us, the way that we do the reviews, it's just we need the records. We don't really care which one it is. But with that said, I'm just going to show you a few things first before we start talking about some more specific stuff. So you've got your search results here as you scroll down. You've got your toolbar over here. So you've got your release years, your record gradings, your genres. But if you know the artist, you really don't need the genre. You have your edition, your sleeve grading, and then your other stuff here. Your guaranteed delivery, that's all stuff you can edit if you choose to. I tend not to mess with it. The only thing that I tend to change if I'm not sure if the price is fair on the album is I go down here to sold items and I'll click it. And what it does is it brings up a whole list of items that have been sold, and you can click on them and look at the pictures. Like, let's look at this one that sold on April 8th, 2019 for best offer accepted. Okay, so it's US $9.99. Gives you all the information, where it was from, how much it was to ship. And if you click right here, it actually brings up the original posting. You scroll down, and this one only had one picture. So I usually shy away from these if it's only one picture, unless it's a super rare album. But in that case, usually they'll do more than one picture. But with that said, basically the sold button allows you to look at what's a fair price for what you're buying, so you don't get screwed when you're buying an item. If you uncheck the item and you uncheck the completed items, which they both do at once, you again you're brought back to the original page with all the items for sale. And what you can do, what I tend to look for when I'm buying one of these is, let's click on this one here. I tend to look for pictures and this stuff right over here, seller information. So I look at seller information, where it is, and then I take into account price and shipping. This to me is the most important. Is well, if it's out of the country, I immediately don't buy it, just because I don't trust the giving people money overseas and never receiving the item. It's a big hassle I don't want to deal with, unless it's a super rare item. But in most cases, you can get it in the States. The seller information is super important because if they have a crappy feedback score, they're probably not going to be a nice seller to you, and they're not going to communicate, and they're not going to be pleasant. It's going to make your whole transaction experience really crappy. So this guy's name is Steve Surfing, probably a surf shop or something, but his pictures, he's only got 2 pictures. Now granted, you can't do a whole lot of pictures on an album, but I mean it's the back and the record. He doesn't actually do close-ups to the record. So this one I'm a little bit hesitant to bid on. It's also in Hawaii, but that doesn't really matter. But you click on here, that's his score. He's got no negatives, which is really good. He's got a few neutrals, so I tend to click on the neutrals and read them. Very slow shipping. That's because he probably lives in Hawaii. Album is scratchy and not VG. So those are things to take into account. The fact that he doesn't have close-ups of the record and this is on here, the album is scratchy, is concerning, so I think I'll pass on this one. Although this is good. The 100% is nice to see. There's some sellers on here that have very low scores, and people just, I don't buy from them. I won't buy from anyone that's got less than like a 98.5. And I usually will look at if there's any negatives, I'll read it and try to understand why they got the negatives. This sponsored one I'm not even going to look at, but let's take a look at this one. So this one's similar price, but he's got way more pictures. Less score here for feedback, but he's got better pictures. They're blurry. Some of them are blurry, but you can see that every aspect of it. You can see the inner sleeve. You can see both sides of the inner sleeve. The actual record, even though it's a little bit blurry and upside down. Backside, track listings. These are better pictures than the ones that were on that last one. So, just to recap, that's what you guys should be looking for when you're buying any kind of record. What is it that I want? How much am I willing to pay? And then you got to take precautions so you don't end up, screwing yourself and possibly losing money, or just dealing with the hassle of returns. It's really easy to shop on eBay. You just set up a PayPal account. You just go on. You just look at stuff. But for the most part, that's about it. If you go and click to buy something, if you're going to go buy an album, say I bought this one I wouldn't buy, but you place a bid here. You place a bid. If you wanted to put $1.03, you would put it there. You click place bid, and then you would go to a page that would show you all your stuff. I'm not going to bid on Rock and Roll Over because I've already got 3 copies of it. But bids sometimes are great. You can also look for records and record lots. That's what I tend to call them, Kiss LP lot. And similar thing, you just look for albums like this one right here. I'll check this one out. So this one has the first 3 studio albums for Kiss. And we'll check out the pictures. He's got 100% positive feedback, a pretty good feedback score. Shipping is fair. You look at these pictures, they're not blurry. This right here is from the camera. Don't have to worry too much about that. He gets the covers. He shows the corners. He shows each corner, which is really nice. This guy is probably a pretty good seller, and he has no intention of screwing you with the records. Shows you all the aspects of it. Yep, he shows you the records. That's pretty neat. I don't like how he stacked them, but that's just personal preference. But yeah, so with that said, guys, I hope this covers the basics of shopping for records on eBay. If there's anything that I didn't cover, please leave a comment below. I'll be glad to go over it, talk to you about it, and comment back and forth with you about it. This is just what I look for when I'm buying the records. I'm not really looking for super rare ones on eBay, because that's not what our channel's about. It's about doing the record reviews. And basically, we're broke. We can't afford any of the super rare ones anyway. But with that said, guys, thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for the Russ's Rad Reviews and the Cupcakes Corners that are coming out. We have been dealing with the past week or so with some technology difficulties. So that's why the videos have been a little bit spotty. We haven't really been able to get as many out. But this is one of the videos I've been wanting to do for a pretty long time now. And I'm finally getting it out to you guys. So share it with your friends. If you haven't clicked that red subscribe button, consider subscribing. And hopefully you guys will see me on the other side of the camera in the next video. Peace out, guys.